China has just announced a $7.5 billion plan to build a new interoceanic canal through Central America, directly challenging the century-old dominance of the Panama Canal. This isn't just another infrastructure project, it's a bold move to reshape global trade and power. Backed by Beijing's economic and political might, the new canal aims to rival the legendary Panama Canal, which has long symbolized American ingenuity and influence. The world is now watching as China steps into America's backyard, with a project that could redraw shipping routes and shift the balance of power. Codenamed the Isthmus Dragon, the canal will be wider and deeper than Panama's, able to handle the world's largest ships. For China, it's a strategic alternative for its exports and energy imports, reducing reliance on a US-influenced choke point. The stakes are enormous, financial markets are reacting, diplomats are scrambling, and citizens everywhere are wondering what this means for the future. Will this canal bring prosperity and competition, or spark conflict and instability? The Dragon's waterway could reshape global economics, challenge alliances, and redefine the 21st century. This is more than shipping logistics. It's about ambition, rivalry, and the dawn of a new era. The story is just beginning, and the world is watching closely. A single strip of water, carved through a narrow isthmus, could change everything. The facts are clear. The stakes have never been higher. The world's trade map is about to be redrawn. The US faces a direct challenge to its influence. China is making a statement. It's ready to lead. The Dragon's waterway is set to become the new epicenter of global trade. The future of global commerce is at a crossroads. To grasp the impact of China's move, we must remember the Panama Canal's legacy. Completed in 1914, the canal was a triumph of engineering and a symbol of America's rise. It transformed global trade, slashing travel time between the Atlantic and Pacific by thousands of miles. The canal became a linchpin for commerce and US naval power, shaping the Western Hemisphere's economy and security. Panama took full control in 1999, and a major expansion in 2016 allowed larger ships to pass. Today the canal handles 3.5% of world maritime trade and generates billions for Panama. But it faces limits. Even after expansion, the largest ships can't pass, and climate change has brought droughts that threaten water levels. Recent restrictions have caused delays and uncertainty. The canal's vulnerabilities are now clear. China's timing is no accident. It's moving as the Panama Canal faces new challenges. The canal remains a giant, but even giants can be challenged. The world's trade arteries are shifting. The stage is set for a new contender. The next chapter in global trade is about to be written. China's canal ambition is no sudden impulse. It's the next step in its Belt and Road Initiative. The BRI is China's global strategy to build trade corridors and put itself at the center of the world economy. A Central American canal would be the BRI's crown jewel in the Western Hemisphere. China is the world's largest exporter, and much of its trade relies on sea routes that pass through the US-influenced Panama Canal. By building its own canal, China gains control over its supply chains and secures a vital route for both exports and energy imports. Strategically, it's about de-risking, ensuring China's economic lifeline can't be cut off by a rival. The canal is also a symbol of prestige. Just as the Panama Canal marked America's rise, China wants this project to announce its own global leadership. Completing such a mega-project in America's backyard would showcase China's engineering, financial, and diplomatic power. It's a message. China is now a global player, shaping the world's geography and future. The canal is more than concrete and water. It's a declaration of a new era. China is rewriting the rules of global trade. The world is watching as a new power carves its mark. The stakes could not be higher. Beijing and Nicaragua have unveiled the Nicaraguan Grand Interoceanic Canal, already dubbed the Dragon's Waterway. The route will cut across southern Nicaragua, using Lake Nicaragua for much of its path, a plan once rejected by the US. The canal will be wider and deeper than Panama's, able to handle the world's largest ships. 2 deep-water ports, a free trade zone, airports, and new infrastructure are included. Chinese officials promise mutual prosperity, while Nicaragua hails the project as a chance to transform its economy and create tens of thousands of jobs. But skepticism abounds. Environmentalists warn of ecological disaster, and engineers question the timeline and budget. Panama, meanwhile, insists its canal will remain competitive. The world is watching to see if this grand vision can become reality. The stakes for Nicaragua, China, and global trade are immense. The China-backed canal has set off alarm bells in Washington. The U.S. State Department calls for transparency and good governance, but behind the scenes, concern is mounting. For over a century, the U.S. has viewed Central America as its strategic backyard. A Chinese-funded canal is the biggest challenge to that dominance in modern history. Lawmakers are demanding hearings on national security, and the Pentagon is reassessing its strategy. The new canal could give China's navy access to the Caribbean and Atlantic, threatening U.S. dominance. Intelligence gathering, sea lane security, and the balance of naval power are all at stake. The U.S. Southern Command is reevaluating its posture. Economically, the U.S. is a major user of the Panama Canal. A rival route could divert trade and disrupt supply chains. The project is another front in the U.S.-China economic rivalry. Washington faces a dilemma: how to respond without escalating tensions or appearing to bully Nicaragua. The dragon is at America's doorstep, and the U.S. must decide its next move. The stakes are strategic, economic, and symbolic. The world is watching for America's response. Will the U.S. compete, confront, or adapt? The answer will shape the region's future. The great game has entered a new phase. The U.S. must act before the balance tips. A second canal would send shockwaves through the global economy. Nicaragua stands to gain most: billions in investment, jobs, and a shot at prosperity. Global shipping companies and consumers could benefit from lower costs and more efficient routes. But Panama faces a direct threat to its economic lifeline. Even a small loss of traffic could hurt its economy. U.S. West Coast ports could lose business as shippers bypass them for Gulf and East Coast destinations. The economic map of the Americas could be redrawn, creating new winners and losers. Competition may lower prices, but it will also spark fierce rivalry. The stakes are high for every nation and industry involved. The world's trade routes are about to shift. The consequences will be felt everywhere. The Dragon's Waterway is a geopolitical masterstroke. China has planted its flag in Central America, forcing nations to reconsider their alliances. Nicaragua's pivot to China signals a break from U.S. influence and could inspire others to follow. Panama now faces pressure to strengthen ties with the U.S. as it competes with the new canal. The two canals may become symbols of U.S.-China rivalry, dividing the region. The project tests America's role as the world's builder and leader. The next moves by Washington and Beijing will shape the hemisphere's future. The world is watching a new power struggle unfold. Experts warn that the canal's potential is matched by its risks. If completed, it could realign global shipping, but the engineering and political challenges are immense. Environmentalists fear disaster. Dredging Lake Nicaragua could contaminate water supplies and destroy ecosystems. Financial analysts doubt the $7.5 billion budget, warning of massive overruns and debt. If traffic projections fall short, Nicaragua could be left with debt and an unfinished canal. Some call it debt trap diplomacy. China could gain strategic concessions if Nicaragua struggles to repay. The canal is more than an economic gamble. It's a tool for influence. The US and its allies must recognize the strategic stakes. China isn't just building a canal, it's buying a foothold in the Western Hemisphere. The risks are environmental, financial, and geopolitical. The rewards could be transformative or catastrophic. The world is holding its breath. We stand at a historic crossroads. China's canal is more than a project. It's a symbol of a world in transition from U.S. dominance to multipolar competition. The stakes are immense for the U.S., China, Panama, and Nicaragua. The ripples will reach every continent, redrawing the map of global trade. The next decade will bring tension, diplomacy, and profound change. Will the two canals compete or coexist? Will this new waterway unite or divide? The Dragon's Waterway is under construction, carving a new path for the world. One thing is certain: global trade and global power will never be the same. The future is being written, one canal at a time.